I live in the West, and I'm always wearing high vis in my videos because I've got to work too hard just to make ends meet, right? I make more money, supposedly, than someone in a third world country, but it all goes. Where does it all go? It goes into the administrators of administrative administration. What we have in the West is an upside down pyramid system where there's a whole lot of chiefs and one Indian doing the work. And this is why the West can't do anything anymore. The whole system is collapsing. Plus, we've got immigrants coming in, and they're not very productive at all. They just clog up the roads and use up taxpayers' money on welfare, and it's the end of civilization here in the West. And I'm angry about it, and that's why I make these videos. And we all saw what happened with the military-industrial complex of the West. They can't do anything anymore. I keep laughing about that. How they rorted their own military-industrial complex, and now they have very, very, very expensive weapons that they can't use because they're too expensive, and they run out of them too quickly. I'm an electrician, and I've done a lot of solar installations, and there's a stupid rebate system where our taxpayers' money, well, it's necessary because the big energy, fossil fuel, gets the lion's share of taxpayers' money to subsidise it, $14 billion a year, but that includes petrol tax, collection, to give back to the oil industry. So I'm paying tax at the pump, it's just ridiculous. And $14 billion a year in a country the size of Australia, population-wise, is a large amount of money. And that's what has been spent on the solar rebates in the last 10 or more years, probably 13 to 14 years, maybe 15 years. So it would be better if they just didn't have any subsidies at all, and people would be paying $1 to $2 a kilowatt hour, and then they'd all say, well, I don't care if it's going to cost me an extra $2,000 to put a solar system on, it's worth it. Because right now they're paying about 47 cents kilowatt hour, but that's what would happen if there's no subsidies, and that's good. That's good. So what? The people wouldn't have the income tax then taken out of their pay, and they'd be able to afford that extra amount, and I'd be doing really, really well. But in reality, where does most of this where does a lot of this rebate money go? It goes into the administrators of administrative administration, because now you need departments of the government full of these useless administrators doing useless administrative work that hold me up. One customer, I've been waiting 2 months to get their rebate approved, and the reason for it is because she's a pensioner and she needs a payment summary from another administrator of administrative administration, Centrelink, where she gets her pension, and some payment summary is more like a tax return to show that she's not a billionaire, and therefore she's eligible for the rebate. And she's been waiting 2 months for that, and so we haven't even applied yet, and you've got to jump through hoops, and it's just the amount of administration I do on a job is probably about 60%, I reckon, of actually doing the job. 60% of the time it takes me to do a job. I can put a solar system in by myself in 2 days. The administration for that job seems to take nearly a day or more. It's just ridiculous. So this is what's happening in the West. You may have seen the meme where the Dave meme, where you've got a whole group of people standing around a ditch with titles such as human resources manager and things like that, useless people, and one guy in a ditch called Dave. And the caption goes, due to budget cuts, we're going to have to sack Dave, which is fire Dave. And that's pretty much how the West is, and it's an absolute joke. Plus, then we've got the, of course, the cabal from a certain demographic that you're not allowed to really mention, who print the money, and they just print it, and then that goes another extra burden on the doers, and they use that money to fund the politicians so that they can usurp treasonously usurped the administration of Western countries, and that's what they did in Ukraine in 2014. And then their puppet Zelensky sent 1.2 to 1.4 million Ukrainians to their deaths in an effort to overthrow Putin, basically, and have a puppet government installed there. That failed badly because they're so full of their own hubris that they don't realise that they've, as I said about the military-industrial complex, rorted their own resource. It's just a shit show here, and well, I think I'm going to sell my house, pay off what's left of this ridiculous home loan, and fuck off overseas. And pretty much that's where I'm coming from, and why I report so much on geopolitics. It's also why I know how projects just are going to end up shit creek. 15 years ago, I worked on in the crane industry, gantry cranes, and I was sent on site. I was the guy commissioning the cranes to get them up and running once I was sent out on site and hung up on the rails inside a large factory or warehouse, and they'd run end to end. That's what a gantry crane is. And I was up at this place called Lucas Heights, which was some sort of nuclear facility. They hadn't obviously put anything nuclear in there at the time during construction, so I felt pretty safe there. I didn't, but anyway, this place was just the most enormous budget blowout you could not imagine. And another example is England. England's or UK. The UK is very similar to Australia. They've got a nuclear plant that was supposedly going to cost, I don't know, a couple of $1 billion or something. It's blown out to about 5 times to 6 times more than that, and it's still not finished. It's been going on for about 10 years or more. Things like that. It's just so full of shit here now. So full of shit. Such a shit place. Fuck this place.